Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, February 21st, 2018. I am Yvette Boynes with the details. As the government considers the establishment of a medical marijuana industry here in SVG, the Christian Council facilitated a meeting with church leaders on the issue, and they have formulated a response to the proposal. In a joint press statement issued today, the church leaders say while they accept that there may be some benefits to having a medical marijuana industry, they do not believe that they constitute sufficient arguments for the legalization of marijuana here in SVG, and highlighted various concerns they have with the legalization of marijuana and the marijuana industry. SVG-TV's Barvin Oliver tells us more about these concerns from the church leaders in this report.
Of a proposal by government to establish a medical marijuana industry here in SVG, the SVG Christian Council has facilitated a meeting with a number of church leaders in the country to examine the possible benefits and consequences of such an industry, and highlighted several health and socio-economic factors which must first be addressed before moving forward with any such industry. In a joint statement issued today on the matter, the church leaders highlighted the effect of the marijuana on the youth, noting that they have recognized the impact it has had in relation to mental health and antisocial behavior of the youth, and that they are of the belief that not enough analysis on the social impact of the drug has been done. The church leaders also expressed doubt that a well-regulated marijuana industry will eliminate the demand for strong local weed used in the illegal trade with that of a weak one, noting that it is unlikely that the current producers will abandon their illegal trade for a highly regulated alternative. Speaking on the would-be economical and health benefits of a medical marijuana industry, the church leaders say SVG does not have the institutional and infrastructural capacity to deal with the possible fallout of such an industry, highlighting the example of Colombia, where the government legalized the cultivation of coca, the plant used in the production of cocaine, as well as 1 gram of the drug. The church leaders noted that the policy adopted has had little impact on the nation, which still struggles with the illegal enterprise. The church leaders further encouraged the authorities to learn from the examples of other failed initiatives, including crop substitution programs. The statement from the church leaders further pointed out that while they recognize the criminalization of the youth is a serious issue, it must be addressed in a mature manner through research, adding that the full legalization of the recreational marijuana should not be an option if policymakers are serious about the well-being of the youth and the nation. According to the church leaders, the quality of life of the populace must be considered over the dull and sense approach to issues such as crime and violence, and express hope that their concerns can foster an appreciation for the complexity of the matter, as well as the need for wider professional consultation on proposals for the establishment of a medical marijuana industry. For SVG Television Evening News, I am Barvin Oliver.
Former opposition leader and Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Arnie Muses, is calling for more organizations to speak up against the ills in society, particularly the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Christian Council. Eustace, who was on Nice Radio yesterday, pointed out that there are many issues that needed to be addressed, and not just from a political party front.
Christian Council and other bodies, my view is on matters pertaining to St. Vincent and the Grenadines politics, they can be much more vocal.
The members or the leaders? They can
be much more vocal.
The members or the leaders?
The leaders and the members. They don't have to come in here. But some of them will speak to their own pastors. Pastors have to be much more vocal.
The former opposition leader said he is looking forward to the ruling in the election petitions case on Tuesday, 27th February.
We have information already about ballots which should not have been counted. And this gives us the opportunity to physically examine those ballots before the petition is actually heard. Very important.
And this is integral in going forward with the NDP's petition.
Yeah.
A further call has been made for delinquent taxpayers to get their taxes paid up and cleared. Comptroller of the Inland Revenue Department, Kelvin Pompey, said the department is now in a better position to take action against delinquent taxpayers. Pompey spoke of a number of reforms and education awareness initiatives being undertaken at his department, which he said will aid in ensuring that persons are compliant.
We have put in place our non-compliance unit, our headquarters unit, our taxpayer identification and intelligence unit, and we are seeing these reform methods and procedures yielding benefits already. Our intelligence gathering mechanisms are working, and it's going to be very difficult for persons to hide, in a sense, from the tax department. And so I think persons would be wise at this point to call at the department, because we have been strengthening and upgrading our intelligence systems, our institution, and as a consequence now in a much better position to ensure that there are compliance of all persons.
With a 3-month tax amnesty currently in progress, Pompey took the opportunity to urge self-employed individuals to ensure that they are in line with their tax payments as well.
We are right now in a better position to identify and to assess these persons, and especially to those persons, the doctors and the mechanics, the electricians, the plumbers, the lawyers, the architects, the engineers, all of these self-employed persons. I'm appealing especially to this sector to take this opportunity to come into the department. You may not have filed returns for quite some time. You may not have even ever filed, or the department may have assessed you with best of judgment assessment. I am pleading to you to take this opportunity to come into the department and let's sit down and reason together.
The Inland Revenue Comptroller further encouraged persons to file their personal income tax returns, which is due by March 31st.
Employers should have by this time filed their end of 2017 TD5 and TD6 packages, and employees also would now be in a position to start filing their income tax return. Urge persons to start the necessary preparatory work in order to meet the end of March deadline, which is the due date for the filing of personal income tax returns and for companies with December year end. A reminder also of persons that we want to encourage the continued use of our electronic filing system, and so we would as much as possible be directing persons away from manual returns.
Meantime, outlining that only 29% of persons here are up to date with their property taxes, the Inland Revenue Comptroller made a plea for these persons to clear up their outstanding taxes. He noted that failure to keep up to date with the said tax can result in the seizure and sales of properties.
Also offering amnesty or waiver on interest, on penalty relating to property taxes. And we currently have a property tax payment rate of just about 58% in terms of the value of taxes received, but the number of homeowners who are actually complying is quite low. That is at 29%. And so we are concerned we would be again embarking on certain actions at the end of this period to property owners who have outstanding taxes, including the seizure and sale of properties, because those provisions are listed under the income tax. Under the Property Tax Act, I expect and I suspect that persons who are listening, who are viewing, would want to take the necessary corrective action to call at the department to ensure that their property taxes are up to date.
The opening of the modern medical complex in Georgetown is set to enhance the level of healthcare services available here in SVG. That's the view of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as he provided an update on radio earlier today on the soon-to-be operational medical facility. Pointing out that the complex is designed more so as a diagnostic facility, PM Gonsalves said the complex will also offer accident and emergency services.
Because of the extra facilities and lab facilities, I'm sure that we'll attract, as time goes on, more patients at the accident and emergency up at Modern Medical. And once people see that you have the support services like those which I mentioned, including laboratory services and some simple surgical things, they will say, well, you know, may as well I go up to Modern Medical. I mean, I'm up in that area now. If you have to stay longer, we'll put you over at the Smart Hospital in Georgetown, because both facilities have been integrated, you see. And there's walkway connections and other connections between both.
According to the Prime Minister, the new facility will play an even greater role in the event of a mass casualty.
If we have what you call a mass casualty event, and we have to transfer a lot of people, we could use both facilities depending on where the accident takes place. You see the point?
Yes.
And they're getting another ambulance up at Georgetown. So that is broadly the situation. They're trying to put in all the relevant beds, all the important facilities to have it operational pretty soon, hopefully end of March, if not sometime in April. But it's coming along pretty okay.
Praising the continued work of the Minister of Health, Luke Brown, and his team at the ministry, the Prime Minister applauded the work done in producing the final draft of the Mental Health Policy and Action Plan for 2017-2025.
What we try to do, if we have difficulties in particular areas or important areas we have to work on, you have ideas, you have certain initiatives in mind, but you have to put them inside of a comprehensive policy. You can't sail, a ship can't sail on sealed orders, so that everybody is on the same song sheet. And when you're interfacing with people outside, you have a document. The bulk of the work was from 2016 onwards. So this is now a final draft. It is being sent around to the various important stakeholders. And then I'm studying the document, and it will go shortly.
Fisher folk on the Grenadine island of Bequia for the next 2 days will receive training on the hazard analysis and critical control point standards, which is a preventive system aimed at ensuring the safe production of food products. Hosted by Sustainable Grenadines Inc., an opening ceremony was held earlier today, Wednesday 21st February 2018, at the Fisheries Center in Paget Farm, Bequia. Noting that the 2-day training focuses on the potential effects of harvesting and handling of products, on-board vessel handling activities for the safety and suitability of fish, shellfish and their products, Sus Green Inc. board member Herman Belmar deemed the training workshop as timely.
HACCP standards were drawn up to protect not you, the producers alone, but the consumers in general. HACCP standards begins and practically ends with you. What you deliver as a producer is what is critical. Help you as producers to maximize on what you're delivering. Maximize on what you're putting in your boat, so that what you take out of your boat is healthy and of sound quality.
Representative of the Fisheries Division and training facilitator, Alyssa Martin, said the training will benefit the fisherfolk greatly.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a license to operate as an approved fish processing establishment to export will not be granted if prerequisite programs and or proper HACCP system are not in place when annual audits are conducted. This requirement is part of the Fish and Fish Products Regulation of 2006. It is not a standalone system, and it is built upon prerequisite programs such as good manufacturing practices that address cleaning, sanitation, pest control, and personal hygiene. It is required in food trade and provides access to valuable markets, creating economic benefits to fishers, processors, society, and governments.
Executive Director of Susgreen Inc., James Lord, thanked all participants, the Fisheries Division, and sponsor USAID for their support in rolling out the initiative.
Know that you could have been out fishing today, you could be doing fish vending, you could be making money, but instead you chose to come here to develop your skills in HACCP. I'd also like to say thank you to our partners at the Fisheries Division who have come here to share their knowledge with us today. This support is coming through the Caribbean Marine Biodiversity Programme, which is a 4-year project sponsored by USAID and led by an organisation called the Nature Conservancy. And Susgreen is partnering with the Nature Conservancy to deliver this project here in the Grenadines. Take advantage of this training, pay attention, ask lots of questions. You have some very knowledgeable fisheries officers here. Take advantage of that and enjoy the next 2 days.
Parents here are being encouraged to ensure that their children use the required safety gears when riding bicycles on the roads of SVG. This encouragement comes from Inspector Henry Providence of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force as he spoke with SVG-TV News, highlighting issues of concern in relation to the safety of cyclists on the roads in SVG. Inspector Providence said both members of the traffic department as well as members of the community have expressed concern over cyclists, particularly very young ones on the roads, who do not adhere to safety regulations and exhibit reckless activities.
Cyclists and a number of the cyclists were taken into custody and till they were rectified in regards to their helmet, their belt, their warning devices, brakes and so forth. And again, the law requires the Bicycle Act, which is Act number 482 of 2009, requires again that while a person is riding a bicycle on the public highway or a public place, he should ride a cycle in a manner which is not negligent or reckless, or in a speed or in a manner which would not be dangerous to persons or the person using it would have in regards to all the circumstances. Right? A person should also ride a cycle, he should not ride his bicycle on his wrong side of the road or pass any vehicle, carriage person or led or ridden animals on the wrong side. And these are some of the stuff that we're seeing happening with these very youngsters on the street of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're also seeing persons turn corner at a very dangerous speed. And we at the department did not want to wait until something seriously happens before we put things in place and before we begin to target these very youngsters.
Highlighting the law in relation to the use of helmets, Inspector Providence said the regulations under the law must be followed by both pedal cyclists and motorcyclists.
Not wearing it and are convicted, they can be charged in the first offense to a fine not exceeding $2,000, or in a subsequent offense they can be charged to up to a fine not exceeding $5,000. So that's a lot of money, and I know these are very difficult times. We don't have that money to be put in the court and so forth. So I want persons to adhere to the Traffic Act. The Act is there, as I said, Act 12 of 2006. And we at the department, as I said, we have already started to clamp down on the whole issue of these fellow cyclists. And we are really happy that also coming on board is the police in the out district. And they are also on board with us in this very event, because we recognize that this is a very offense, not just in Kingston, but also in the out district. And the out district police has come on board, and the police from the traffic department will be engaged in some sensitization to ensure that they are up to bar in regards to this particular offense.
Inspector Providence further appealed to parents to ensure that their children have their proper safety gear before they engage in cycling activities.
Purchase a bicycle for the youngsters, that they also ensure that the cycle is equipped with the proper braking system, and also the protective helmet as well. The parents have a responsibility to ensure that these things come with the cycle. It doesn't make any sense that you're going to buy a bicycle for your son or your daughter in any case, and then you're going to allow them to traverse the streets of St. Vincent and the Grenadines without protecting them. These equipments are indeed there for their own protection, and we are really appealing to the parents to ensure that when they purchase a cycle for their children and a fellow cycle, that they ensure that they have the proper braking system, warning devices, and as I said, the protective helmet, because we do not want our youngsters to be involved in an accident, or if they are involved in an accident, that they succumb to the injuries because they were not properly protected.
President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said even with some challenges, the union continues to grow from strength to strength. Highlighting some of the achievements of the union over the years at a media conference on Monday, Robinson said the hallmark of the union's work thus far is the success of its former president, Otto Sam, in his case against the state.
Just maintain the focus. We know we have the political divide out there, but this union can't get involved in that. People would support this and support that, and people would say this, and when you speak of the authorities and they do good, you say good. Some people would say you with them, right? If you criticize them, you're critical about them, they would say you're opposing. That is normal. But for those who would succeed me as president, I would say broaden your shoulders, because the licks will come right, left and center, even from within. But just hold your head steady, do what you have. You can't please everybody.
Noting that he has had an exciting tenure as the president of the union, Robinson encouraged the person who would succeed him and the incoming executive to keep focused on moving the union forward.
I anticipate that the union will continue to listen to its members, to agitate and advocate for socioeconomic justice. The very objectives of the organization are outlined, and it gives the new executive that framework, among other things, to move the union forward, because this union has a history of hard work and struggle, right? And when your successors come, they see what has been said and they build upon that. You know, they acknowledge your contribution, they look for the areas for improvement, and they build on that.
Invest SVG is further strengthening its commitment to export development here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as it hosted the first in a series of business development workshops to be held in the upcoming months. On Tuesday, February 20th, 24 business owners who operate across several sectors took part in a two-day entrepreneurship workshop facilitated by Dr. Nian Fraser, who is an entrepreneurship researcher, academic, and consultant. Through information sessions, workshop discussions, group activities, and individual activities, the workshop was designed to enable participants to develop a better understanding of entrepreneurship and shift their mindsets from subsistence-focused to growth-oriented. Additionally, the workshop aimed to develop business owners' skills needed to start and grow business, and to equip them with the knowledge and tools necessary for entering the export market. The workshop facilitator urged the participants to become aware of and recognize the gaps in the current market and identify consumers' needs that aren't sufficiently being catered to, if at all. The police here are investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting incident which occurred in Diamond on Tuesday evening about 11:10 p.m. involving Keeson Pompey, a 28-year-old chauffeur of Calder. According to reports, Pompey was shot in his right arm while driving in the vicinity of Diamond Woods by some unknown persons. The victim described that the assailants hid in the nearby bushes when they opened fire. Pompey was rushed to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital by police and is currently receiving medical attention. The police are asking anyone with information that would assist in the investigation of this incident to contact the officer in charge of the South Central Division, the Criminal Investigations Department, the Major Crimes Unit, or any police station in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.